All right, guys, welcome back. So we've just ran through the store, done a little walkthrough with Joe, and we're going to look at doing a little putter fit here. We're going to look at Sam Putt Lab. You guys know that Quintic is what we have at our studio, and kind of the information that gives is obviously phenomenal. But just so the people and the clients who come through our store here in Glasgow or one of the club champions across North America, we are going to have run through Sam Putt Lab here. So Joe's going to take me through a little mini putter fit with what actually is a putter I've never been fit for. You know, we get lots of products through the door to test. This is the one that's in my, very lucky, and got a lovely putter that's in my Scottish set, but I've literally never rolled any putts on a Sam or a Quintic with it.
Yep, no, great. We'll run you through it and show you the sort of how we do it.
Let's do it. So we've got a little calibration tool on there. You've already done the calibration setup for it, little sort of T-bar there. What's the significance of that?
So effectively, Sam works off ultrasound. So what it'll do then is it'll pick up this little cradle. And then when you're making your stroke, it'll analyse then the amount of arc you have, the amount of rotation you have in the face. It'll measure your face at impact. And then that gives us a huge amount of input in terms of what style of putter you need. And then it'll tell you exactly where your dynamic lie is and your dynamic loft at impact. And then that has a big impact on then what your finished loft should be and how that affects your roll. So it's a really nice, simple process. It's a sort of 7-step process. And then what we do is we'd watch you hit some putts to start with, get a little feel for what you do. Chat about your putting, where are you struggling? Are you struggling on long ones, distance control, short putts?
All of it.
All of it. Like us all, where can we help you? You know, you might say, I'm just not making enough, or I'm missing too many short ones, or I'm having too many 3 putts. Where can we shave some shots for you? Because that affects the putter fit in itself. And then we'll watch you roll 7 putts with the Sam Putt Lab with the cradle on, and then we'll talk you through the data. But the first part is obviously to set you up in the system.
So let's do that. So we've got kind of three options here: measure, train, fit. So is that the sort of one as the person using the software? Your choice, whether you're a coach, whether you're measuring, training,
or you're using it as home device, and you're sort of you're practicing your putting with it effectively. If you're really into your gear. A lot of it's based around coaching, and then a lot of it for Club Champion is obviously based around the fitting protocol. So what we use is the fitting protocol. So we go in there, and then we use something called Perfect Fit 1. And you'll see it'll go through now. We've already preloaded you into the system, your name and stuff. And then what we'll do is we have to calibrate it. So then that tells me the process there, which is great. So we head type, head balance, shaft. Your posture and your setup we'll check, whether your eye's over the ball, so a big part of it.
That's
and
huge.
Then the length, the loft, the lie and the grip style, that'll bring together the feel and the performance, and then we'll have a specification at the end of it. So before we start, we would put in, the spec of your putter, so obviously you're on a blade style putter, probably 45 degrees of toe hang there, I would imagine.
Pretty much bang on,
and then single shaft offset. The length was 34. Yeah, I think we measured at 44 there. Loft was 1 degree. And then the lie angle
71.
71. So that basically tells Sam where it is, so that it knows. So it knows exactly what you've got, and then it can then assess the performance of your putter based on the correct calibration, effectively.
Fantastic.
If you don't put the right data in, you won't get the right results at the end. So now what we need you to do is hit 7 putts. It's about a 15-foot putt off the green dot, and then we'll get your specs from there.
I love it on this studio, Joe, the ability for the player to go through their process, whether you want to start that down the line, use the line on the ball to sort of, set yourself up with the intended line. It's a really nice, spacious feel.
What we'll do is we'll get right in behind you from here, and then, we'll watch you roll the putt. And a big part of it for myself is to see where that ball starts. Because such a big part of the putting is if you can't start it online, you can't make putts.
Definitely.
So we'll watch you hit putts, basically straight down the line and see where you are.
Okay, so 7 putts, Joe. Just go through the routine.
And we want these putts to be as normal as possible. As you say, if you use a line on the ball, mark it. If you don't, and you're more natural, just go through exactly your pre-shot routine. Take your time with these 7 putts. Yeah, nice putt.
mean, this is a style, I mean, the reason this ended up in my set for over here, it's a head that's very similar to my Champion's Choice Titleist, a length I'm familiar with. Something different to go with the MMT putter shaft. I just thought that would be a nice one.
A little heavier?
Yeah, a little bit heavier, and knowing that the lovely soft feel of a Miura head, you know, and obviously the graphite to dampen the vibration and take that frequency down a little bit. I just thought that would be quite a nice combo for over here. It does feel nice.
Yeah, no, it feels lovely. It's a good looking putter as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I definitely felt that one a wee bit out the toe, and that is my miss.
Right.
To strike them a bit out the toe side.
So we'd also get in face on.
Yeah.
You know, down the line we would check your alignment, and then face on we're checking obviously ball position.
Yeah.
You know, shaft orientation. And face on, we can also get the sort of rhythm of the stroke as well, you know, which you can't get down the line.
2 more.
Generally speaking, how is your putting?
A wee bit hot and cold.
Okay.
You know, some days I feel like it's really good, and you know, I feel like I've got a really good feel for the line. I don't struggle with pace too much.
Okay.
I more struggle with whether it's the read or the hitting on the intended line, but directionally I probably don't do as well as I would like to. On my Arcos data right now, based on my objectives and goals, which is kind of a +4 handicap, or I'm losing 2 strokes off the tee and 2 strokes on the greens.
All right. Okay.
So that's where my improvement lies. I need to better off the tee and better on the greens.
Yeah. But you've obviously had this putter even tweaked slightly to 1 degree. So even for people at home, that's something to think about. You know, most putters that come are 3 degrees aloft out the shop, aren't they?
Yeah.
And very rarely, truthfully, do we see someone who is a stock loft.
Yeah.
You know.
And when you say, so do you normally see people end up with less loft, Joe?
Usually less loft, yeah. There is the odd occasion where you know, people might hit down on it slightly and lean the handle.
Right.
But most people, I think, are hitting up in their putts.
Yeah.
And they are adding dynamic loft.
Yeah.
You know, a little probably like yourself.
Yeah, like I've done
Yeah, I've done that as well myself for years, you know, because you're always taught to hit up on it.
Yep, definitely.
And that gets the ball rolling. But that then, it's a bit like a driver. If you're playing a 10.5 degree driver and hitting it too high, well, we need to tweak the loft to give you a better launch conditions.
Get it
And
optimised.
you know, people don't think in a putter you need launch conditions as well.
We do for the consistency. So we've got our 7 putts.
Sure, I'll talk you through them.
Okay.
Yep.
Felt like I started off pretty good.
Yes.
Certainly the first, you know, within the first 4 I was good, and then I got a little left miss going at the end there.
So effectively what it's saying here, Ian, is that you have so it measures 2 things in terms of your stroke. The amount of arc you have, and then the second part of that is the amount of rotation you have.
Right.
So your arc rotation is moderate, but you're not rotating the face a whole lot.
Right.
So because of that, it's actually recommending a slightly different style of putter for you because you're not rotating the face a lot. It's actually recommending more a mallet style for you, which is something probably a bit different. You can see from the top view. So this is your stroke from the top. So the black dot represents the ball effectively. The backstroke here, and then the through stroke. So you can see it's a nice stroke. Very a moderate amount of rotation, and then on the backswing and the through swing. And then you can see the amount of face rotation here. So it is very minimal amount of rotation in terms of, but it is closing at impact as well.
Yeah.
So the face is a little bit left, which is why you've missed them a little bit left. So if we then pick the mallet. Next screen. So the next screen there tells us what your rotation is relative to your path. So you can see that the face is closing relative to your path there. So then that's why it's recommending something with probably a little bit less toe hang in a mallet style for you. It wants to.
So that's getting into sort of in that, we said 45 degree toe hang.
Yes, is where you started,
Trying to get us into somewhere from face balance, so 0 degrees of toe hang to 30, so somewhere in that minimal range.
Exactly, yeah. Because that's suiting more your style of face rotation, effectively. So it wants to effectively try and match the rotation of your face closer to the toe hang style of the putter, effectively.
Fantastic.
So your alignment is very good at
address.
Yeah. So you're 0.2 degrees open, and then the face is just slightly closing through impact. Your posture's good. So this is a big part of what we check. You know, are your eyes over the ball? Are you too inside out? Or inside over the ball? You know, then what do we need in terms of length? How does, you know, do you need something shorter to help you get more over the ball? Do you need something slightly longer? That's a big part of it as well. So this is interesting. So your putter loft recommendation is actually recommending a little bit more loft.
Add some.
Yeah, add some. Despite what we just said.
Yeah. Well, I know that's the great thing with the evolution of everything. Is when it comes to, you know, obviously club fitting. One thing to always always you guys remember is we change.
Yes.
You know, and
absolutely.
At certain times, you know, 1 degree of loft. For me, in sort of call it North America or the courses I play with, the greens are very, very smooth.
Yes.
Very, very quick. It's not. We don't have that over here. So actually, you know, that makes a lot of sense to use a little bit more loft when we get to slightly slower greens.
And you're not obviously hitting up as much as perhaps you used to do. The shaft is much more neutral in its axis relative to impact. And then, so it's actually recommending just a little bit more loft, closer to that 2.5 degrees. So still a bit less than standard, but a little bit more loft than you're using right now.
Great.
But your predicted spin is top, which is nice.
Good.
So you get a nice roll from it.
Right.
And then the last screen we look at here is the cluster on the strike. So 71 degree lie angle. As you say, your miss is slightly in the toe.
Could feel that for sure there.
But the lie angle there is good. And maybe that's something where, you know, that mallet style with a little bit more MOI might help you.
Definitely.
And then if we can get the right amount of rotation, we would hopefully see that cluster a little tighter.
Love it. Okay, why don't we have a little look at something that might be in that wheelhouse?
Yep, let's do that. Perfect.
Okay.
Let's put something together for you. So what we do now, Ian, is we'd watch you hit a few putts with that. Get your feedback. Understand whether you feel comfortable with it, because it's not a one and done. There's your putter. We need to go through what feel you like, what hosel style gives you the most confidence, and then. But we're always trying to match it into the recommendation there, you know, because that's a great starting point for us.
Find that blend.
Yeah, find that blend is exactly right. How do you like the look?
I do like the look.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, nice looking putter that with the dual head there. It's been popular. I think if anyone, I mean, your alignment's good. We saw that on Sam.
Yeah.
But for anyone who does struggle a little bit with alignment, this is a good option because it's got the contrast.
We've seen that obviously with the last few weeks with the Versa putters. That contrast between face and body is something that is quite meaningful. It's quite impactful.
Absolutely. We've seen that with guys a lot with the different sort of style. You know, even if it's the spider range, where you're getting that contrast in the face, so that you can see whether you're having problems with your alignment.
Some of the Bettinardi's there, similar thing.
Similar thing, exactly. Yeah, strong sight lines.
There's even a little bit of preference being built up already. So, BGT shaft, quite a lot stiffer than that MMT.
Does it feel stiffer now?
It feels a lot stiffer, and it feels better, to be honest. Like that MMT felt quite soft.
Right.
And I think when I'm hitting those in the toe as well, I'm getting a lot of feedback from. I'm feeling the torque of a miss
deflection.
Yeah, I really do. So, I think this is something that already, having hit a few putts there, I really don't feel. Every putt has felt like a well-struck putt.
Yes.
Whereas I didn't have that with the other one, and that's another personal preference, isn't it? Some people like to feel a miss hit, some people don't.
Yeah.
I would rather feel like I was on the golf course hitting all my putts good. And then that way, building confidence, not starting to question myself. Okay, I need to hit this more in the heel and changing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we also talk, for some guys who are needing a little bit more MOI in their putter.
Yeah.
If you do move to a slightly, more mallet style, you can see that it doesn't take much to deflect the face on a slight toe strike. Whereas in something like that, you can be pretty aggressive here and it won't deflect too much.
Does it?
Just because of the stability of the style.
Yeah. No, I like this. I definitely love to roll a couple with this this style, just.
So what we could do is we could even change the hosel style there for you, put you in a traditional plumber's neck, which is quite nice. That affects obviously the balance and the toe hang. But if that's something you're more comfortable with, you know, the great process here is that we can flip you out into that very easily. You know, it's almost, putters have almost become a bit more like the driver shafts now. Where you can flip in, you know, a sort of short hosel, short plumber's neck or a long plumber's neck. We can change the length a little bit for you. We've got 33 inch, we've got 34, 35. And then obviously we can do the loft and lie to suit exactly what you're recommending there. So it's quite a good process from that point of view.
I think that like you say, that even roll system is really taking it to another level, isn't it? Because for us, obviously, being brand agnostic as we are and having all the different options, it's difficult to have a matrix of putters big enough when you're not interchanging heads and shafts.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got so many different combinations at your disposal here, just because you can interchange these different necks, lengths.
Right. And you can obviously go to a blade style putter with a short slant, or you can go to a blade style with a plumber's neck.
For sure.
You know, you can actually change the little back plate here to a different style of head, so you can change the colours again.
Brilliant.
You know, you're just trying to really get into the psychology of what makes sense for the golfer.
Right.
You know, and try and get them to sort of line up so that they can make their best stroke. So you'll see that changes the putter entirely there with the looks of it. That might be something you go much more familiar with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, half shaft of offset and a slant neck is fine for me. It's incredible how much more comfortable I feel when I get into that plumber's neck. Kind of, again, rightly or wrongly in terms of the result, but I know that for me immediately that's something that makes me comfortable.
Yeah, I think what Sam's saying there though is that you're aiming the ball well, so the hosel style is the right idea for you. I just put you in that just because it was a slightly different, you know, toe flow. This has still got a little bit of toe hang to it.
Just a little bit to it, doesn't it?
You're probably in that 20-degree range again. But if you're comfortable and you align it well, well, hopefully this will help you start it on line.
Love that.
But you'll have a little bit more stability through the mallet. Yeah, nice putt there, eh? That came off lovely.
Yeah, that did come off nicely.
You're in the right place in terms of what you need, and then it's just, you know, feel and look and that type of thing, rather than you know, sort of dialing it in then to what you like.
And that's a grip, actually, to me, that feels very, very comfortable as well. I mean, I've always used a Scotty Matador style. This is a fraction wider in that the tour tack, but it feels good as well. Nice. So I think even just that element of you know, putting is so feel based. Our hands have to be in the right spot, feel like they're in the right spot, and have the right sort of impact on the delivery from a rotational standpoint. That feels fantastic as well.
I think when you're seeing that sort of style of reduced rotation, that should add up in terms of slightly thicker grip, a putter with a little bit less toe hang, that little bit of mallet style there to give you a little bit more forgiveness in those toe strikes. And I think that should really help.
Love it, love it. Okay. Well, I'm going to rock a few putts with this guy and see how comfortable certainly I get with it. It's, you know, it's different, and I'm always open as I think, you know, we preach and it's important for us to be the same way ourselves. I'm always open to trying something that's going to help me get a little bit better and deliver some more consistent results. So, you know, I definitely would love to give this a little run and see what it does.
Great. So once we've decided on the right style for you, Ian, what we then do is go back onto Sam to make sure we've got it right, you know, because if anything, it absolutely validate exactly what you've got. So if you want to roll a few now, so we've got the right style, we've got the right look for you, got the right feel for you, we know the length, the lie and the loft, and now what we're looking to do is just make sure that this is performing for you as it needs to be. Is it moving?
I don't know. It's hard to. I feel like it's moving.
It does move a little bit.
It's banking.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah. Can we hit this out?
I'll try and hit a wee one out to the right.
Yeah, it's kind of right half. nice. Yeah. Good putt there. Yeah, really good roll there. Feel?
Nice.
Nice.
Yep,
Do you like the head design?
Very solid. I do like the head design.
Very different to what you're using though, you know?
Very different. I mean, I'm a line person, not a dot person, but you obviously get the benefit of the two sort of white lines at the back is a little bit more of a track.
I mean, it's certainly very different, so it might take a little bit of getting used to in terms of, some feel, some practice. That was a nice roll there. Do you use the line in the ball?
Actually, I ended up going the blank side.
Right, yep.
So I kind of like to sort of see nothing.
See nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than being too heavily focused on...
I don't like to be influenced by thinking. I just think from my perspective, I like to trust what I see down the line versus over the top.
I think it's very individual, that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Actually felt quite a nice roll.
Yeah, the greens. Sort of
and like anything else, Joe, I mean, we could be making good rolls here. No different from a putting green or a golf course or in here. We're a little bit sort of reliant on a bit of luck as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
making
that,
sure that you've got a surface that's it's not a pool table by any means. So, the objective isn't actually to hole every single putt in this process.
No.
It's matching obviously the putter that we're using to the style.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and the other thing that Sam doesn't truthfully know, because that was a good putt, that last one, it doesn't know whether it goes in or not.
Yeah.
So it just knows what zero is. Zero is the middle of the hole.
Yeah.
And then it makes its analysis from there. Yeah, really good putt there.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So this is where we'd take you through the style again, just to confirm that it's absolutely what we need. So it is still recommending that mallet style putter, which is great.
That's good, confirming it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still in that sort of face balance to 30 degrees, so we're in a nice sort of window there, which is great. Again, alignment's very good, so that style of hosel is excellent for you. Your face aim's absolutely on zero there.
Right.
You're a hair open, truthfully, at your 0.4 at impact.
Yeah.
But that's well within, from 15 feet, sort of nice tolerance.
Yeah.
Again, setup position's excellent. It's recommending, so this is 2.5 degrees aloft. So with this style of putter, and this is a big thing, obviously we've changed the style of putter. So on your own putter, it was recommending we went to 2.5, 3 degrees aloft. This is actually saying you're spot on 2 degrees aloft, which is absolutely what we've got. So it's perfect. And then it's actually recommending just a little bit more upright than where we are. So moving from 71 to a little bit more upright. So we can do that on the loft and lie machine, confirm that. And then your consistency is excellent. You're high 89% in terms of amount of rotation and rotation consistency. That's superb. You're well in the right range there. All green markers there. And then so it is definitely giving us that mallet style. 15 degrees toe hang, 2 degrees aloft, and then slightly more upright. But we would check that because that's slightly different for you. So what we do now is bend that putter for you and then see how that feels and if that gives you a better feel. Yeah.
So a lot of what we've kind of got in terms of the one we've built here is exactly what that's come out in the recommendation of plumber's neck, single shaft of offset, little mallet head. Great. And we're pretty much there. The only thing being the lie angle obviously being a little bit more upright is what we'd like to see.
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. Very, very good. Well, I mean, I definitely will give that a little run and keen to see if something with that little bit extra MOI, because that strike was still out there.
Still
in
a
the toe.
little bit in the toe,
So, managing that obviously is...
It's got to help, hasn't it? It's like off-centre strikes on a driver or an iron. If you can get a little bit more MOI, it should just help your start lines.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously with the even roll face, with that kind of variable depth of the groove, that it maps, obviously, or that it matches the output ball speed to the input strike and club speed to make sure you've got that distance
Consistency
control.
of distance, and that's why it's been very popular for us, to be honest with you. Anything with that kind of technology that enables you to roll the ball better, and for a lot of guys, 3 putt less.
Yeah.
You know, that can be a huge saver. Sometimes it's not always about holing more putts. For you, obviously, it is you're a good putter.
Right.
But for a lot of guys, it's like, how do I stop the 3 putt? And how can I get my handicap from 20 down to 15? And sometimes that's just, putting a little better.
Massive difference.
Moving that from 40 putts to 33, 32. Yeah. You've saved, a huge amount of strokes.
Definitely. Guys, what I mean, I think you can hear even just through the conversation, the value of going through the putter's fitting process and what that means to you guys. I mean, we've got more data now at our disposal than ever before. And for you guys, penalty shots and 3 putts, that's where the kind of major improvement, that's the lowest of the low-hanging fruit that's out there for you guys to improve. We talk about as scratch golfers and better players, sort of bogey avoidance is really the key to minimising score. The difference between a good round and a great round, or even an average round and a great round, isn't how many birdies you have, it's how few bogeys you have.
How few mistakes you make, isn't it? Yeah, how few penalty shots.
Exactly.
And we see that a lot with guys, who are starting to track their data through watching the channel and sort of understanding the importance of going, right, where are my weak points?
Yeah.
We see a lot of guys who thought they were decent at putting, but then they'll report that they're 38, 40 putts around, or they're 36. How do we get that then into a range where they might say, if I could eliminate 4 3 putts around,
absolutely,
and it's a total game changer, yeah, because as you say, you're finding the easy wins there.
Yeah, I love it. Well, guys, I mean, I know every time we do these videos and we read the comments from you, and we hear I must go and get fit for a putter. Yeah. We concur. You must go get fit for a putter. Absolutely. You have to go and do that. I mean, it's a gift to yourself. It's probably the cheapest or one of the cheapest options on the fitting menu that kind of we offer. So
one potentially the biggest bang for your buck.
Without a doubt. The club you use the most is obviously going to give you a significant opportunity. So making sure you've got the right putter, that it's rolling well, you get confirmation of that. You work with a professional like Joe and Dane here in the Glasgow studio. You've got to go through that process and make sure that you're giving yourself the best opportunity, the sort of highest amount of kind of chances to hold those putts, whether it's long distance, getting a good distance control on a good line, or cleaning up those nice close ones that you should do from inside 3 and 4 feet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you even see it in the PGA Tour stats. They're not holding them all the time.
No, absolutely.
That sort of number from 15 feet. A lot of amateur golfers think that you should be making every one of them. They're not, but they're not 3 putting.
Okay, guys, really appreciate you joining us for this. Again, leave comments below. Have you done a putter fit? Would you like us to do more stuff on putter fit? And I certainly feel that when we do the videos, I feel that we don't get to the putter studio enough for how highly and how important we sort of obviously convey that message to you guys, the importance of being fit for your putter. Absolutely. So leave the comments below. We'd love to hear them, and we'll see you again soon.